When the previous administration passed the prescription drug bill, that was something that a lot of seniors needed, right? They needed prescription drug help. The price tag on that was hundreds of billions of dollars. You know how we paid for it? We didn't. It just got added on to the deficit and the debt.
President Obama at a town hall in Montana today defending his plan for health care reform by once again criticizing his predecessor. Let's bring in the panel. Byron York of the Washington Examiner, A.B. Stoddard of the Hill newspaper, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. So, Byron, President is out selling at town halls, the one in Montana today, one in Colorado tomorrow. Can he use these town halls to reverse the political dynamic which seems to be trending against him on health care reform now?
This was a continuation of his effort to try to make this shift from health care reform to health insurance reform. If you listen to him today, he spent all his time talking about, you know, if you've got a pre-existing condition, you've got to be able to get insurance. People are worried about losing their health coverage when they lose their job. He's pushing a much more modest set of goals rhetorically. And if this was all that Congress was trying to do, pre-existing conditions and portability of insurance, they could have done that last week. So he is not addressing still the question of why is this bill 1,000 pages long and there's all this stuff in it.
Maybe.
I think actually this, if they are successful, and he has another one on skyrocketing prices, I guess on Saturday, then he's going on vacation. I think the time is now to take this modified, ratcheted down, simplified, streamlined message and try to push back not only at the rumors about what's not in the bill, but to try to be realistic about the fact that they probably don't have the votes for the public option, and that they really are looking at sort of a much more simpler bill. And as Byron's right, they pivoted to a message of insurance reform targeting the insured who are now unsure about this reform package. They should have done it a long time ago.
Charles, I want to pick up on that. Some senators like Charles Grassley say, hey, look, we dropped the whole idea of end-of-life consultations a long time ago. Should the president, and I know this is AV's idea now, say, you know what, we're going to strip down some of the things that are causing such offense. We're going to take out the public option, maybe go to the co-ops. We're going to take out the end-of-life consultations, make the deal now, or is it too soon for him to play down to what his bottom line is?
Well, in a sense, it's too late, because all of this stuff is already out there. He can protest and pretend that all it's about is health insurance reform. And the pivot started at the press conference he gave on July 22nd, I think, where he mentioned health insurance reform 5 times. It was new, hadn't been used, and that was a signal that they were going to go to Plan B. The problem is that the bill's out there, the discussion out there, all people have heard about, and that Obama has to defend when it comes up is all this other extraneous stuff, extraneous at least from the Obama perspective, about the public option and about the death panels. Yeah, but that's not extraneous.
That was one of his main goals.
That's what I mean. It's extraneous from the context of what Obama wants. He wants now the fallback. But I'm saying it's too late, because all of that other stuff is out there. It's in the bills.
Well, he also
wants. Are still pending.
He also wants, Byron, even though he doesn't talk about it much, is he wants to get 40+ million Americans health insurance, and there's almost no discussion of that. And you could do that, could you not, without a public health option?
Absolutely. That's the mistake he made at the very beginning of all this, deciding early in his presidency to frame this as an issue of cost. We've got to bend the cost curve and somehow insure these millions of currently uninsured people and save money in the process, which today he admitted you can't do. It's very, very, very expensive.
I want to turn to this subject of the email controversy that Major has had such an interesting response or non-response from the White House on AB, and that is the email controversy. People who say, I just got an email from David Axelrod. I had no interest in it. I never went to a White House website and asked for it. I don't want it. What do you make of that?
Well, of course, what they decided to do is use the technology to obtain this contact information from people who might have clicked on a site here and there, but indeed have never written to the White House to join either their list or the Democratic National Committee's list or Organizing for America or any of these Obama ARM organization lists. it is exactly, he's playing exactly into the hands of people who think that he's Hitler and he's coming to police all of our lives and he's going to kill off old people to cut costs in health care reform and burn up the Constitution. It is also, unfortunately, going to upset people who, moderate swing voters who he needs for political support and momentum in the future, who needs to survive the midterms, who he needs to get reelected in 12. It was a mistake, and I imagine that they're going to have to pull back on this.
Charles?
Look, I don't believe in conspiracy theories anywhere. I don't think Obama has a plan to target everybody and to make lists. I think this is a result of some events. What he needs to do is to explain how this happened. I don't believe it's a nefarious plot. It could be that they had information received in some ways. It got automatically fed into a mailing, an email mailing. If they explain it, I think it'll dissipate. If they explain nothing, this conspiracy mongering will only increase.
All right. We have to step aside for a moment, but up next, and you're not going to want to miss it, the Friday Lightning Round. Scandal and more scandal.